I'll sort of just transition here into the actual preseason game too, because the game and the practices sort of mold together in terms of, reps and, the coaching staff evaluates all of it. And I think when I look at sort of our whole starting unit, it's sort of set in stone apart from, um, some pieces on the defense, move a chess piece here or there. Obviously, we need to see more from the offensive line, et cetera. But and apart from TJ Hawkinson just practicing again, I would like to, see Blackman play. And for one, just because of his health, but also because, as you know, like with football, when you have 11 guys on the field, they have to be in unison. And when you have poor play from a cornerback, we talked about Andrew Booth playing poorly, that's going to make everybody else's job harder. And so it's easier to evaluate guys when the rest of your teammates around you are up to snuff. And, that's not me quitting on a guy like Andrew Booth that I mentioned, but it is just acknowledging the reality that Mekhi Blackman has done his job better than Andrew Booth to this point. Ergo, he gives guys like Troy Dye who are fighting for roster spots, or Andre Carter the second, guys like that. It gives them a better look because they don't have to get home to the pass rusher quicker, or get home to the quarterback quicker. Excuse me. So, long way of saying I hope Blackman's out there this week. The other thing, completely other side of the ball, that I think is just really interesting and really, I guess, what can I say, not decided yet, is the punt returner and the last wide receiver spots.
Yeah.
Brandon Powell looked awesome when I was there on Thursday. He continues to look pretty good in the offense. He made an outstanding one-handed diving catch on the sideline, toe tap and all, in the 2-minute drill on Thursday. Just an outstanding play from a guy that's, shorter than me. And that sort of like effort and effectiveness has become sort of normal for him. I feel like in this camp, he's just been really good. The biggest knock against him is that he's small. There was a ball thrown to him yesterday that, if Brandon Powell's 2 inches taller, he probably grabs on 4th down from Nick Mullins, but it was just over his head and he's short and he just couldn't get it.
Right.
But, both Reagor and Powell have returned punts this preseason now. I feel pretty secure with both of them back there, frankly. Maybe even a little more secure with Powell. He just looks like he knows what he's doing and is just very sort of like sure-handed, and he's shifty, he's quick. He's a guy that I think it'd be really hard to cut him. He's just been too good this camp. But then you also have guys like Tristan Jackson that have played really well, and it's clear that his fellow receivers really like him. And of course, Jalen Naylor, who's been out a lot, but being injured is a knock against you, unfortunately, because if you don't get to play and you got other guys who are making plays out there, like Jackson has and Powell has and Reagor has, like it's going to be hard for a guy like Naylor to make the team, unfortunately. And so it's just wildly interesting because you really only can have 5 or 6 receivers, and there's probably more than that who you could argue your way into making the roster. So I don't know if you have a perspective on who to you is wide receiver 4 and 5 and plus or minus 6, but it's that's just interesting because although those guys are probably not going to get a ton of run in the games, that Colts game last year was a clear sign of it matters. Like that 4th and 5th receiver really matter because there's going to be a time when Jefferson gets banged up for a play, or Osborne's out for a game, or Osborne's a truck, he's not going to be out for a game, Addison's out for a game, and you need somebody to step in and take half the snaps. So it does matter. I don't know if you have a perspective on that.
I now have the perspective of I want to start a load the box merchandise brand where we just sell t-shirts that say Osborne's a truck, he won't miss a game. Because I like that a lot, and I think we could probably get him to come on board to like sign off on selling those because I think he would like that. But no, I think that looking at the wide receiver room, there's the old Mike Zimmerism of you can't make the club in the tub, and I love it because it's true. And I hate to say that, but screw it. I'm just gonna go full heel and just be the pessimistic guy. Like, yeah, Jalen Nailo got banged up, and other guys outshined. Outshined, I think, is the proper grammar. Outshone, maybe. I don't know. Other guys looked good while he was not in, and so he might have lost a spot. Like, even though he looked good in the regular season in his brief appearances last year, I will say that that's what makes this fun to me is, and I can look at this and know what it is, and we're talking about guys where, like, yeah, the fourth wide receiver maybe matters. Like, he might come in like a Colts game, like a Jalen Nwangwu got some run last season, so maybe I think Jalen Nwangwu is who got the run last season, but like, maybe Nailo gets that spot now, maybe Nwangwu keeps that spot. Yeah, that guy matters, but like 5 and 6, I don't want to say don't matter, but like they're more special teams guys. They're guys to be excited for like, maybe if we lose KJ Osborne in this upcoming free agency period, maybe, they step in and they can fill that role, and it can be JJ and Addison and then Jalen Nailo, or it can be whoever. I'm still, this is going to be my take. I don't want to go into who I think is going to make the team because I really don't know. I mean, it could be, I feel like we've only heard positive things about most of the receivers throughout camp, and there haven't been many like this guy is dropping balls and looks bad and, blah, blah, blah. I don't see a need to keep Jalen Nwangwu. And he seems to have like mental lapses and he stops routes and, there's kind of a history there of like he didn't work out in Philly and in Minnesota, he tried his best to make us not complete the Colts comeback last season. And like he just I don't see the need. We have a guy that can return punts. Okay, I don't know why we would keep him. Like N'Keal Harry, I know I joked earlier about like, yes, he's a stouter, so he didn't play on Saturday, but like N'Keal Harry, I think was just a camp body who got banged up immediately, and so he didn't even play in the preseason game yesterday. Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't know. So I think maybe it's going to be like a guy like Tristan Jackson and Jalen Nailo. Those are my two personal favorites, with Brandon Powell being kept on as another wide receiver, strictly like as the 6, because of the kick, punt, return duties that he brings to the table. And that kind of leads into the Jordan tinfoil hat, cut Kene Nwangwu discussion. Because why do we, he's also can't make the club in the tub. You've let Ty Chandler solidify himself as RB2, and now those guys taking kicks back, and that Dykes guy looked pretty nice, but even him, I don't know why. Like, if you have a guy that can do punts and kicks, let him do punts and kicks and save a roster spot. That's a defensive player that you can keep on the team, and we kind of need as many doubts to throw at the doubt belt on the defensive side of the ball. So Has Powell returned kicks in his career, or is it just punts? I think it's just punts. There was another guy who, his name is now escaping me, but maybe it was Powell. No, it wasn't Powell, because Powell we got from the Rams. There was like a rookie that returned punts and kicks at some stage in his like collegiate career, and I was like, oh, okay, that seems like that could be interesting, but maybe.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if they were trying out Powell for returning kicks as well, or if he took one in the preseason game against Seattle.
I can't remember. The Seattle game it was so late at night.
It's so long ago.
I was so asleep for half of that game. And
weird game.
It was a weird game. Speaking of preseason games, no, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, did you talk about the Kene Nwangwu cut conspiracy last week?
I think I've brought it up twice now. I'm the biggest Kene Nwangwu op on the internet, I think, at this stage of my career, and that's probably what I'll go down as. You'll look up Jordan Hawthorne and you'll get the Wikipedia page hates Kene Nwangwu, and I don't. I like him a lot. I also really like Andre Crowder as a prospect, and I'm afraid that if we cut him and try and sneak him onto the practice squad, he won't make it to the practice squad and he'll end up playing for the Colts or something. Like, so I would rather have him than Nwangwu, because Nwangwu got banged up and couldn't get on the field. And again, it wasn't crusty Mike Zimmer not letting him be used in the offense. It was forward-thinking boy genius Kevin O'Connell saying, no, you're not getting any offensive touches all season long. You're going to take kicks back, and that's it. That's the end of what you do. And so I kind of think that the coaching staff, I don't think they're out on him. It is a valuable position. Like, it's nice to have a good kick returner, but I don't know, man. The league doesn't want kicks being returned. They've made that clear. A doctor went on the Pat McAfee show last week and straight up said it's the highest rate of concussion in football is on kick returns, and we don't want concussions in football. So they're going to get rid of it, or they're going to change it drastically, and then who knows if Nwangwu's going to be good at it anymore, because he's good at it in the traditional sense. So I don't know. That's my Nwangwu. I'll stand on that hill until the day that he's not a Viking anymore. And
I mean, I think it's the reason I asked about if you brought it up last week is because we did a collaboration piece on VikingsTerritory.com that's going to post tomorrow, and the prompt was basically like, name a surprise cut, and I thought I was being all original and cute and said like, ooh, it's going to be Kene Nwangwu, basically for every reason you just brought up now, and now I'm starting to think that I was not original at all in my thinking.
No. I think you were original. I think I've just filled your head with anti-Kene Nwangwu propaganda.
Probably.
That you are now, I've converted you to being, join, like I'm going to go door to door in Cincinnati, Ohio, and be like, have you heard about the Church of Ty Chandler? The Church of Brandon Powell as a kick returner? Like, just send it back there, have him fail catch it like a punt, move on, take it at the 20.